Hello guys and welcome to another video. This is the video where I figure out exactly how much I've spent on manga in my entire life. Yeah, so to work this out, unfortunately I hadn't saved that information on a spreadsheet as I was going along. So just to prove how sad I really am, I actually had to go back through all my emails, all the kind of order confirmations from Amazon or Abe Books showing, and it would show the price for each one. And then ones that I didn't buy online, I knew I would either have bought from Forbidden Planet if it was 3 of the same one, or just a random volume, it was going to be Waterstones. So I could work out the price for each and every volume in my collection. So if we go back to the very beginning, it all started with Assassination Classroom Volume 1 that I bought on the 5th of May 2018 from Waterstones, and it cost £5.49. I thought that it wasn't just sad enough to go through and figure out the price of each one. I thought it would be fun to take this analysis up a step. So what I have done here is created the Master Manga Nerd spreadsheet. So for each series I have the name, I have the volume number of that series, I have the price I paid, the manga demographic it belongs to, the genre that it is, whether I bought it new or pre-owned, the date I bought it, and what shop I bought it in. So now, I haven't totaled up this price column yet, but I was hoping you would humour me for a few minutes on the other kind of columns and stuff here. So first of all, I wanted to look at what. So what do I buy? Let's look at it by demographic first. So we can see here that by volume, so number of volumes I have in each demographic, shonen is just winning. And that's of course due to, the long nature of the shonen series. So we've got One Piece and Full Metal Alchemist bringing those volume numbers up. The second one is seinen, which is probably my favourite demographic to read from. I only have 8% shoujo. That's only about 15-16 volumes, and 2% josei, which is the demographic I belong to. So I'm actually looking to kind of explore that a bit more in the next couple of months, so maybe this will change if I do another one next year. Now let's move on to the genre, because demographics don't really mean that much nowadays, so I'm more interested in what sort of stories am I reading. So if we look at it by genre, we can see that the kind of action adventure bit takes up 47% of the collection. This is again due to the kind of larger shonen series. The next one is actually horror. I think because I counted like Tokyo Ghoul and Ajin and stuff as horror, and all the Junji Ito stuff I have. We also have some drama, fantasy, historical, sci-fi, slice of life, and not a lot of comedy, which is something I'm also trying to change in the next couple of months. I mean, a large percentage of manga is described firstly by action adventure series, so that does kind of make sense. And now let's go on to kind of what I buy in terms of, do I buy new manga, do I buy used manga, do I buy digital manga? So let's have a look at that. So I have absolutely no digital manga purchases. That's just a personal preference. I just don't really like the fact that you don't really own it. But I can see it does have its advantages, but I'm like a complete collector gene. I always want to have my collection in physical format. And it's actually more than half of my stuff is used, which was kind of surprised me. I thought it was going to be about half and half, but interesting to know. I definitely am torn because I want to, grow the collection with the limited means that I have, and also I do want to support that industry that I love so much. So I do want to support publishers by buying series new as well. So that's about half and half just now, and actually 6% of my collection. So around 20 volumes I actually got as gifts, so I'll take that into consideration when working out kind of how much I've personally spent on manga. And now I want to look at when I buy manga. So we know that I started last May, but I wanted to look, did I, increase my collection at a steady rate, and what would my monthly manga hauls have looked like if I had been on YouTube for the last year? So let's take a look. Here we have when I first started collecting. Of course, we have the initial excitement, the initial rush. June is always going to be a peak because that's when my birthday is. And what I tend to do is have a period of time where I buy a load of stuff, and then I will take time to read and catch up on what I bought. So that's obviously what I'm doing here. I remember 6 months into collecting, I definitely had a kind of burn out of it, because I did kind of go very extreme at the start, buying 65 volumes that month. So there was a lot of time to catch up on what I needed to read, and I remember there was a month where I don't think I read anything at all. But then in March, I remember I had a week's holiday, so I wanted to get some stuff to read for that. And that definitely kind of brought the hobby up to the front of my mind again. And then, catching up again. May, the interest was kind of just peaked again. And then June was actually when I started my channel. And again, a birthday month, so we had a huge manga haul. So what does that look like in terms of how did my collection grow? So here we have the number of volumes in my collection over time. So again, obviously we started it in May when I had absolutely nothing. We had a kind of steady increase, birthday happened, zoomed right up, and then, a kind of steady, healthy pace again. And then we had the kind of area where I kind of wasn't really focused on manga, I didn't really read that much. And then again, I kind of peak and then kind of steadily increasing again. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes for the next couple of months and even a year. I imagine it's going to do the same thing. It'll sharpen up and then it'll go flat again. But overall, you're kind of still bringing in a lot over the course of a year. Now I want to talk about where I buy my manga from. So first of all, just kind of simple, do I buy it mostly online or do I buy it on the high street? So there we go. Weird that it's a nice number there. You can't argue with the data. I mean, I knew I did buy most things online because generally it will be cheaper, but we actually have a good store for Forbidden Planet, which can work out about the same prices as Amazon. So I do like supporting the high street as well. But then most of my used books, which takes up more than half my collection, has been online as well. So that does make sense that online is so big. So if I were to go kind of even deeper than that and look at each individual shop, we would have something like this. So this was surprising. I'd forgotten exactly how much I'd spent on eBay, but I actually got some really good deals. I got the Full Metal Alchemist box set on eBay. I got volumes 1 to 18 of One Piece on eBay and Battle Royale as well. So I got them all for really good prices. So in terms of by volume, which this is, it would make sense because I kind of bulk bought from eBay. The second one is actually closely Abe Books. Abe Books is it also encompasses World of Books. Yeah, I mean, it's always my first place to look for a series. So it was Bakuman and some of Black Butler actually I got for £2.80, which is just incredible. They're ex-library, so they're not very good condition. So I always kind of remove the stickers and try to get rid of yellowing. If you've not checked out this is one of my earlier videos, but I actually did a video on how I restore ex-library manga, so check that one out. I was surprised that Forbidden Planet was more than Amazon. So Forbidden Planet is the kind of comic book store in the UK. It always has a 3 for 2 manga deal on. I can make my way home from work via that shop, so that happens from time to time. Yeah, it makes sense that it's so high. The next one is Amazon, which is of course online, and then we also have some from Waterstones, WH Smith. These are 2 high street stores in the UK. And then just a couple odd purchases has been from Book Depository, Snazzle. I got volumes. I got a set of 5 JoJo for £30 on Snazzle. They're good at kind of half box sets almost. And then there's a couple I've seen in the charity shop as well. But now, of course, it is the moment that we've all been waiting for. Now, if I just scroll down to the bottom of the price one, you'll see that I have these already to calculate how much I spend per month and how much I spend per volume. So my collection is about 354, and I had 20 volumes that were gifts, so that's where that comes in. And now for this one, all I would have to do is sum this up. My heart is actually beating quite fast right now. I'm very nervous. I'm going to estimate that it is £1,000. Probably more, between 1,000 and 1,300, I would say. Okay. Oh, just over. Oh, £1,346 I have spent on what is behind me. Well, I mean, okay, it's less than £100 a month, so that's what I figured I spend, and that's okay because my rent is £200 cheaper than it used to be, for example. So it's disposable income. And I love that average volume price is £4. That's good. I'm quite proud of that. I do try very hard to get the best deals. Jesus. Would
So
I
if we go
rather
back to the
have
very
nothing
beginning,
behind
it all
me
started with Assassination Classroom Volume 1
£1,346
that I
in
bought
my
on the
hand right
5th of
now?
May 2018
Absolutely
from
not.
Waterstones,
I think it's
and it
definitely
cost
money well spent.
£5.49.
As long as you're careful, and I'm definitely going to kind of start kind of roughly budgeting it. I already kind of do, and I think it's just fantastic. So we've kind of gone through the who, what, when, where, and how much. So now to kind of relieve the blow that this is on me, I just want to say a few words on why I collect manga. So this has been like one of the kind of greatest passions that I've found in my life. It really has brought so much joy into my life. Like there's just, I can't describe the feeling of like getting a new volume 1 of a series you've not dived into yet. It's just kind of like full of kind of possibilities. You just kind of have a feeling you're just going to spend hours of like happiness in this world with these characters, and it's also exciting and new. I mean, it's just such a big part of my life now. I always fall asleep reading a volume of manga. I'm sure I can find some evidence. And I just wish that I had, thought to try it out sooner. And I could have enjoyed the hobby for a lot longer than I have. But yep, that is all for this video. Thank you for putting up with the nerdy person that I am. I wanted to just work it out for myself, but now I have a kind of reason to do it. So I don't feel quite so sad. But anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!